Over here spotting, we have Saloni, and Reese will be the timer. I'd like to congratulate both teams and wish you good luck for getting to this point. We'd like to do a buzzer check before we start anything else. Jack, would you start?
Paco Jack. Paco Max. Paco Shika. Paco Thomas. Ethan Cameron. Ethan Green. Ethan Andre. Ethan Arsh.
That sound right? Everybody got the right buzzer? I want to ask everybody to please speak very loudly and clearly. Who will be captain for E10? Andre, Captain Max. All right. Coaches ready to begin? Okay. Let's begin with number 1, a toss-up. Key signatures can be identified by the number of sharps and flats as marked on the lines and spaces of the staff. A key signature of D major would contain how many sharps?
Paco Max.
2.
That's correct. Bonus 2. On this temperature scale, 0 represents absolute 0. Name this temperature scale that is one of the SI base units.
Kelvin.
Correct. Toss up 3. This ruler is believed to have been an Ethiopian queen who was intrigued.
Paco
Queen of
Thomas.
Sheba.
Correct. Bonus 4. Some of the organs that belong to this bodily system include the sinuses, larynx, trachea, and lungs. Name this system responsible for providing oxygen to the bloodstream.
Respiratory.
That's correct. Toss up 5. The sources of this system are the deeds of the followers of Muhammad. Yes, that's correct. The deeds of the followers of Muhammad.
Ethan Kareem.
Incorrect. The sources of this system are the deeds of the followers of Muhammad and the Quran itself. What is this system of Islamic social morality?
Paco Jack.
Sorry,
That's correct. Bonus 6. Her works are noted for surreal depictions of her personal pain from miscarriages, an automobile accident, and her marriage. Identify this artist, famous for her troubled marriage to artist Diego Rivera.
Free color.
Correct. Toss up 7. 2 interior angles of a convex pentagon measure 100 degrees each. What is the sum of the remaining angles?
Paco Shika.
240 degrees.
Incorrect.
Ethan Kareem.
440 degrees.
Incorrect is 340 degrees. Toss up 8. The Anschluss.
Paco Thomas.
Austria.
Incorrect. The Anschluss, which means link-up, occurred early in 1938. The Anschluss was the term for the union of what 2 nations?
Ethan Cameron.
Austria-Hungary.
Incorrect. Austria and Germany. Toss up 9. These thin structures that are specialized rhizoids provide for the absorption of water into the root system of plants. What numerous tiny outgrowths increase?
Paco Shika.
Root hairs.
Correct. Bonus number 10. The son of a successful farmer, this poet became a member of Augustus's court after writing poetry collections such as the Eclogues. Identify this Roman poet who celebrated the unification of Rome by Augustus in the Aeneid.
Virgil.
Correct. Toss up 11. Express your answer as a decimal number. The perimeter of a regular pentagon is 39 meters. What is the length of one of the sides?
Paco Shika.
7.4 meters.
Incorrect.
Ethan Arsh.
7.8 meters.
Correct. Bonus 12. This painting depicts a French revolutionary philosopher in his bathtub after being murdered. Give the title of this masterpiece by Jacques-Louis David.
Death of Moran.
That's correct. Toss up 13. Kelly Clarkson was the American Idol in 2002, while Ruben Studdard won in 2003.
Ethan Cameron.
2004.
Hesitation. A 19-year-old woman from High Point, North Carolina, who goes by her first name, won in 2004. Name her.
Paco Max.
Fantasia Barrino.
Correct. Bonus 14. The central plot of this medieval romance revolves around a strange wager made by one of the knights of the Round Table. Give the title of the poem by the Pearl Poet, in which a knight beheads a mysterious adversary who picks up his head and promises retribution 1 year and 1 day later.
I designate Jack, Circle and the Green Knight.
Correct. Toss up 15. This reptile, whose name comes from the Greek for Tartarus, is one of the few animals with both endoskeleton and...
Pakulsheka.
Tortoise.
That's right. Bonus 16. What is the circumference of a circle with area of 576 pi inches squared?
46 pi inches.
I designate Sheikah.
46 pi inches.
Incorrect.
I
Captain?
designate Kareem.
Tom.
26 pi inches?
I'm sorry, it's 48 pi square inches. Toss-up 17. Complete. Recognize name, please. This architect's most famous works include the Green Building at MIT, the Indiana University Art Museum, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Pakul Max.
I am Pei.
That's right. Bonus 18. This is the most diverse group of animals on Earth, with over 1 million species comprising more than half of all living organisms. Identify this major group of arthropods that possess bodies supported by an exoskeleton and includes the dragonfly, grasshopper, bee, and ant.
Insects.
Correct. Number 19 is a toss-up. Although he really wanted war, Adolf Hitler agreed to this conference.
Pakul Thomas.
Munich conference.
That's correct. Bonus 20. The name first appeared as the name of a communist city-state that is free of the thirst for money and power so prevalent in Europe at the time of Sir Thomas More. Give the name of this city-state, also the title of More's book, which inspired later works about an ideal society such as Francis Bacon's New Atlantis.
Utopia.
Correct. Toss-up 21. The events of this man's life included living through the Great Fire of London, the Plague.
E-Town Cameron.
Christopher Wren.
Incorrect. Participating in the Monmouth Rebellion, surviving the only full-length hurricane ever to reach Britain, and working as an intelligence agent. Identify this man, most famous for being a novelist and journalist, and for his works Journal of the Plague Year.
Pakul Jack.
Daniel Defoe.
That's right. Bonus 22. Gregor Mendel chose to work with pea plants because they grow quickly and because they have these well-defined genetic characteristics. What do we call these individual characteristics passed down through generations?
Trades.
That's correct. Toss-up 23. In a 30, 60, 90 right triangle, the longer leg measures 2 square root of 3 inches. What is the measure of the shorter?
Pakulsheka.
2 inches.
That's right. Bonus 24. The name for this effect comes from a factory located just outside of Chicago. Identify this effect that refers to an unintentional influence upon a job or experiment due to the presence of an observer.
Ford effect.
Incorrect, Captain.
Heisenberg.
No, it's the Hawthorne effect. Toss-up 25. The stones of the buildings in this ancient empire's capital needed no mortar to bind them because they were precisely shaped to fit.
Pakulsheka.
Tessellation.
Incorrect. That is part of the wonder that visitors will find in Cuzco, the ancient capital of...
E-Town Cameron.
Correct. Bonus 26. Points C and R are given by 3, 4, and negative 11, 6. What is the midpoint between these 2 points?
I designate Kareem. Negative 4, 5.
Correct. Toss-up 27. Most of a cell's lifetime is spent growing, a process described...
Pakulsheka.
Interface.
Incorrect. Most of a cell's lifetime is spent growing, a process described by this 2-word term. What scientific term includes both the process of cell growth and the process of cell division?
E-Town Cameron.
Prophase.
Incorrect. It's cell cycle. Toss-up 28. First published 97 years after its author died in 1744, this account of the early American wilderness is highly romantic in tone and was mostly insignificant until the rise of the Romantic movement many years later. What is the title of this account, which refers to the boundary between Virginia and North Carolina, written by William...
Pakul Jack.
History of the dividing line.
Correct. Bonus 29. The name of this music comes from a word meaning beauty, and the music is usually performed by females in traditional saris. Name this type of Indian folk music that is essential to Maharashtrian folk dance.
Amelin?
Incorrect. Captain?
Bengari.
No, it's Lavani. Toss-up 30. States under this form of rule are often characterized by a high degree of economic inequality and a low level of social mobility.
Cockrell Thomas.
Aristocracy?
Incorrect. Among the notable historical examples are various city-states of ancient Greece and Italian merchant republics.
E-Town Cameron.
Oligarchy?
No, it's plutocracy. Toss-up 31. Every ecosystem has a limited supply of food, water, shelter.
Cockrell Max.
Carrying capacity?
Incorrect. Every ecosystem has a limited supply of food, water, shelter, light, and other resources over which organisms must struggle. What name is given to this struggle between different organisms for the same resources in an area?
Okay, that's the same question.
E-Town Arch.
Natural competition?
Judge?
That's correct.
Correct. Bonus 32. This literary character is the child of Molly, a woman who was acquitted of murder charges, and Abel Magwitch, an escaped con man, who bequeaths a large sum of money to Pip. Who is this icy misanthrope found in Dickens' Great Expectations?
To designate Cameron.
Johnson?
Incorrect.
I
Captain?
designate Jack. Miss Havisham?
No, it's Estella. Toss-up 33. On May 31st, 2008, the Democratic National Committee voted unanimously to allow these two states to receive half votes.
Cockrell Max.
Florida and Michigan?
Correct. Bonus 34. The absolute value of the quantity 3h minus 10 is less than 14. Give the possible values of h using inequalities.
I designate Chica.
H is less than -8 and H is greater than -4/3.
Incorrect, Captain?
I designate Arsh.
Age is less than.
Hesitation. h is less than 8 and h is greater than -4/3. Toss-up 35. This opera was inspired by the composer's friendship and possibly affair with the poetess Matilda Wesendonck. Name this opera by Richard Wagner, which tells of the star-crossed lovers, one of whom is a princess.
Cockrell Max.
Tristan and Isolde?
Correct. 36. Bonus popular music forms of this time period include the allemande, gavotte, and minuet. Name this musical movement, which included composers such as Scarlatti, Lully, Vivaldi, Handel, and Johann Sebastian Bach.
Baroque.
Correct. Toss-up 37. Sections of this early 19th century play include The Prologue in Heaven and Gretchen's Room.
E-Town Arch.
Incorrect. What is this masterpiece of German romantic drama written by Johann Wolfgang?
Cockrell Thomas.
Incorrect. It's Faust. And that's the end of the half. 3-minute time period, coaches, for inquiry. Coaches ready to begin? All right, let's start our second half. Toss-up 1. This cultural anthropologist was raised as a Quaker in Pennsylvania. She is most remembered for her studies of adolescence, particularly...
Cockrell Emily.
Mead.
Correct. Bonus 2. This collection includes poems such as I Sing the Body Electric, Song of Myself, and Out of the Cradle, Endlessly Rocking. Give the title of this collection of poetry by Walt Whitman.
Leaves of Grass.
That's right. Toss-up 3. These elements can be found in a pattern shaped like a ladder on the periodic table.
Cockrell Carolyn.
Semiconductors.
Incorrect. These elements can be found in a pattern shaped like a ladder on the periodic table and include boron and aluminum.
E-Town Cameron.
What are the...
Incorrect. It's metalloids. Toss-up 4. Let the function f of x equal 4 raised to the x power. For what values of x will f of x be negative?
E-Town Arch.
None.
Correct. Bonus 5. This musical is based on a controversial 19th century German play that explores teenage sexual discovery. What musical won the 2007 Tony Award for Best Musical?
Godson.
Incorrect. Captain?
Prince.
No, it's Spring Awakening. Toss-up 6. What is the absolute value of the complex number 7 plus 24i?
E-Town Arch.
7 plus 24i, negative 7 minus 24.
Incorrect.
Cockrell Carolyn.
1.
No, it's 25. Toss-up 7. In Tom Stoppard's play, Transvestites, In Tom Stoppard's play, Travesties, Tristan Tzara, Vladimir Lenin, and James Joyce all appear, with plot twists and humorous misunderstandings borrowed from this Oscar Wilde play. Give the title of this Oscar Wilde play featuring the characters Gwendolyn Fairfax, Algernon Moncrief, and Jack Worthing.
Papa
The
Emily.
importance of being earned.
That's correct. Sorry about that. Bonus 8. Hydrocarbons consist of carbon and hydrogen and can be classified according to the bonds between carbon atoms. What type of non-cyclic hydrocarbon has single bonds between all carbon atoms?
Okay.
Correct. Toss-up 9. This folk dance, known as port in the country's native language, is very lively and performed in traditional hard shoes, often in 6/8 or 9/8 time. Identify this dance most often associated with Ireland.
Papa Carolyn.
Jen.
That's right. Bonus 10, multiple answer required. In 1932, a full-fledged war broke out between these two South American nations over an area known as the Gran Chaco. Identify these two nations, the only two in South America that are landlocked.
I just say Smurf.
Bolivia and Uruguay.
Incorrect, Captain?
I didn't make Cameron.
Paraguay and Bolivia.
Say it again.
Paraguay and Bolivia.
That's correct. Toss-up 11. In a pie chart concerning population, the sector for teenagers makes up 36% of the pie. If this sector corresponds to 1,800 teenagers, what is the total population displayed in the pie chart?
E-Town Ordinary.
18,000.
Incorrect.
Papa Carolyn.
54,000.
No, it's 5,000.
Time?
Timeout. All right, let's continue. Toss-up 12. This choreographer's uncle directed the classic film The Ten Commandments, although she had her success on Broadway.
Papa Christian.
Correct. Bonus 13. In this novel, Molina, an open homosexual, shares a prison cell with a political prisoner named Valentine. Give the title of this best-known work by Argentine author Manuel Puig.
Kiss of the Spider Woman.
That's it. Toss-up 14. 62 nations eventually signed this document, though its goals never came to fruition. Identify the 1928 document that outlawed war.
Papa Emily.
Kill and Brienne Pack.
Correct. Bonus 15. The two products of this type of chemical reaction are always water and a type of salt. What name is given to this reaction between an acid and a base?
Neutralization.
You're right. Toss-up 16. One poem in this work of Japanese literature highlights the feelings...
E-Town Cameron.
Haiku.
Incorrect. One poem in this work of Japanese literature highlights the feelings of the title character while looking upon the funeral pyre of his lover, Yugao. Give the title of this 11th century novel written by Murasaki
Papa Soman.
The Tale of Genji.
Correct. Bonus 17. These particles do not exist in the atomic nucleus, but are formed when a neutron converts into a proton.
exactly the same
What are these
question.
electrons ejected with great velocity from a radioactive atom undergoing disintegration?
Beta particle.
Yes. Toss-up 18. Spell the name of the sequence that begins 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, and so on.
Papa Emily.
FIBBONACCI.
Incorrect.
E-Town Cameron.
FIBBINACHI.
Incorrect. 1B. FIBONACCI. Toss-up 19. Proponents of this philosophy included Charles Peirce, John Dewey, and William James.
Papa Christian.
Pragmatism.
Yes. Bonus 20. This international dispute of 1798 led to an undeclared naval war between France and the United States. Identify this international incident that prompted the response, millions for defense, but not 1 cent for tribute.
XYZ effect.
Yes. 21. Toss-up.
It's good.
This basic law of chemistry is also known as the first law of thermodynamics. Name the law stating that the amount of energy in an isolated system is constant, neither created nor destroyed.
Papa
Law
Soman.
of conservation of matter.
Incorrect.
E-Town is law.
Law of Conservation of Energy.
Correct. Bonus 22. This novel is based on a real slave, Margaret Garner, who, after escaping and then being found by a posse, killed her daughter rather than see her return to slavery. Identify this 1987 contemporary classic written by Toni Morrison.
The Color Purple.
Incorrect. Captain?
Beloved.
Correct. Toss-up 23. The name of this smooth planar curve comes from Greek, meaning throwing beyond. Name the conic section which has a conjugate.
Easttown is law.
Parabola.
Incorrect. Name the conic section which has a conjugate axis and a transverse axis.
Pikeville, Emily.
Hyperbole.
That's right. Bonus 24. This Chinese word is similar to the concept known as prana in yoga, and knowledge of this is vital to traditional Chinese medicine. Give the Chinese word for life force, which is central to feng shui.
Chi.
Correct. Toss-up 25. This modern-day nation was known in antiquity as Aram, the Highlands, which gave its name to the Aramaic language, still spoken in a few villages in this country today. Name this.
Easttown, Cameron.
Armenia.
Incorrect. Name this country that was on the trade and conquest routes between Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Asia Minor.
Pikeville, Carolyn.
Syria.
That's right. Bonus 26. This book's sections include war propaganda, nation and race, causes of the collapse, and the National Socialist Movement. Give the title of this autobiographical work written in prison by Adolf Hitler.
Mein Kampf.
Correct. Toss-up 27. This river, formed by a confluence of several streams at the base of Canby Mountain, rises in the east in Colorado and flows south to the southern tip of Texas, making it the third.
Easttown,
The
Cameron.
Rio Grande.
Correct. Bonus 28. This religion emphasizes the importance of education and equality between the sexes, as well as eradicating prejudice. Name this religion, founded in Persia in the 19th century, and which believes that other faiths are all aspects of the same deity.
Zoroastrianism.
Incorrect, Captain?
Baha'i.
Baha'i is correct.
Time.
Time. Toss-up 29. This quantity can be defined as the rate of motion of an object in a particular direction. Identify this.
Pikeville, Carolyn.
Velocity.
Yes. Bonus 30. Give the equation of the vertical asymptote that occurs on the graph y equals 5 divided by the quantity x minus 3.
5 over x plus 3.
Incorrect. Captain?
Vertical x.
Incorrect. It's x equals 5. Toss-up 31. Those attending this council condemned many Protestant practices they considered heresies.
Pikeville, Emily.
Council of Trent.
Correct. Bonus 32. Let us define set A as all numbers x greater than -4. Set B is composed of all numbers less than 2.5. What is the union of these two sets?
X is greater than -2.
Incorrect, Captain.
There isn't one.
The union is all real numbers.
Substitutionary timeout, please.
We're on 33, toss-up. In the Roman calendar, June 11th was sacred to this goddess, who was originally depicted blindfolded. Her
Pikeville, Max.
Justice.
Incorrect. Her aspects included Belly, Redux, Virgo, and Publica. Give the name of the Roman goddess of luck.
Easttown, Evan.
Fortuna.
Correct. Bonus 34. This form of energy is used for heating and electricity generation and is important in Iceland and New Zealand. What kind of energy is extracted from steam, water, and heated rock under the Earth's surface?
Geothermal.
Correct. Toss-up 35. In this novel, the main character, referred to by the letters I-M, engages in a battle royale in which he must fight off another young black man like himself. Identify this classic allegorical novel.
Pikeville, Thomas.
Invisible Man.
Correct. Bonus 36. In 1943, he won a Pulitzer Prize for his novel Dragon's Teeth. Who was also the author.
Sinclair.
Correct. Toss-up 37, her name can be translated as unbending, which is appropriate, as her name is associated with obeying the laws of the gods above those of men. Name this daughter of Oedipus and Jocasta.
Applejack.
Antigone.
Correct. Bonus 38, in 1880, this Iowa politician ran for president as a greenback. Identify this man, who more notably was the populist candidate in the 1892 election for president.
I designate Thomas.
Weaver.
Correct. And that's the end of the match. Congratulations to both teams, and good luck for the rest of the day. Coaches, are you ready to start? Okay. Let's begin with toss-up 1. One of the original charter members of the United Nations, this country gave the UN its 6th Secretary General. From what country?
Paco Thomas.
Vietnam.
Incorrect. From what country was the Secretary General of the United Nations from 1992 until 1996? Boutros Boutros-Ghali.
Massenville Aaron.
Egypt.
Correct. Bonus number 2. There are 4 veins in the body known as pulmonary veins that carry oxygenated blood to the heart. What pair of organs does the term pulmonary refer to?
Lungs.
Correct. Toss-up 3. This band is a surface with one side an edge. It was named after the German mathematician who discovered it. Name the object.
Massenville Priscilla.
A little bit louder, please.
Mobius strip.
That's correct. Bonus number 4. This substance is often created while a pot is being made on a wheel from the mixture of clay and water. Identify this substance commonly used in ceramics to glue together separate pieces.
Glaze.
Incorrect, Captain?
Slip.
Slip is correct. Toss-up 5. This biblical love poem may be read as an allegorical representation.
Massenville Priscilla.
Song of Solomon.
That's correct. Bonus 6. In addition to her artwork, this artist has written many books about her life and feminist beliefs, including Beyond the Flower and Embroidering Our Heritage. Who is this American artist whose works include The Holocaust Project and The Dinner Party?
I designate Aaron. Cassard.
Incorrect, Captain?
Chicago.
That's correct. Toss-up 7. In its non-technical usage, this math term simply means being in harmony or agreement. What is the geometrical term that describes figures having the same shape and size?
Paco Chica.
Regular.
Incorrect.
Massenville Aaron.
Similar.
No, it's congruent. Toss-up 8. His poem Sorrows details this poet's life, including his brief stint in public service. Name this Roman poet, most known for the art of love and metamorphoses.
Massenville Aaron.
Ovid.
Correct. Bonus 9. The White Party has its roots in this nation's countryside, while the Colorado Party is strong in Montevideo. Give the name of this South American country south of Brazil.
Argentina.
Incorrect,
I
Captain.
designate Thomas.
Uruguay.
That's correct. Number 10 is a toss-up. This process is most obvious in plants that have little or no wood, such as small flowering plants. What loss of rigidity in plants is caused by a lack of water and nutrients?
Paco Chica.
Wilted.
Correct. Bonus 11. This Italian epic poem consists of 3 canticas, each consisting of 33 cantos, and has a terza rima rhyme scheme. What is this most famous work by Dante Alighieri, which tells of his journey through the Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso?
I designate Jack. Divine Comedy.
That's correct. Toss-up 12. What is the area of an equilateral triangle with side lengths of 6 inches?
Paco Chica.
9 squared is 3 inches squared.
Correct. Bonus 13. The most prominent member of this political party since World War II has been the former steelworker Gus Hall, who ran for president 4 times for the party. Identify this U.S. political party known for receiving financial support from the Soviet Union during the Cold War.
American Socialist Party.
Incorrect, Captain.
I designate Aaron. Socialist Party USA.
No, it's the Communist Party. Toss-up 14. It is often a misperception that this type of animal is less dangerous to humans because with bison, rhinos, and elephants, this is not necessarily true.
Massenville
That's right. Bonus 15. Artists associated with this movement include John McHale, Richard Allen, and Joseph Albers. Give the name for this type of art, which relies on optical illusions.
Op art.
That's correct. Toss-up 16. The area of a circle is 50 pi square yards. What is its radius?
Pikeville shaker.
5 square to 2 yards.
Correct. Bonus 17. This incident was named after an Irish-born American general of the Revolutionary War who wrote many letters criticizing George Washington. What was this conspiracy in late 1777 and 1778 that was designed to remove Washington as commander of the Continental Army and replace him with Horatio Gates?
I designate Thomas.
Calling like a brawl.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Captain, I'm sorry.
I designate Aaron. Conway Cabal.
Cabal is correct. I'm sorry, I thought we were on a toss-up. That is correct for Madisonville. Toss-up 18. This type of reproduction is a common part of the life cycles of invertebrates such as earthworms and snails, in which the partners are not separated into males and females.
Pikeville shaker.
Hermaphrodites.
Correct. Number 19 is a bonus. This animal's name derives from the Spanish word meaning a low-quality horse, or an uneducated man. Give the name of Don Quixote's horse.
No.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Wait. Rocinante.
I designate Jack.
Rocinante.
That's correct. Number 20 is a toss-up. A national monument of Spain, this Roman outpost is thought to have been built by Trajan, modeled after a Phoenician plan or the lighthouse at Alexandria. Give the name of this lighthouse placed...
Pikeville Max.
Hesitation. Give the name of this lighthouse placed on a northwestern coast known for shipwrecks and nominated as a World Heritage Site.
Madisonville Aaron.
Rock of Gibraltar.
Incorrect. It's the Tower of Hercules. Toss-up 21. The measure of a right triangle's hypotenuse is the square root of 170 inches. One of the legs measures 11 inches. What is the measure of the other leg?
Pikeville shaker.
7 inches.
Correct. Bonus 22. Phenotype can be defined as the specific set of characteristics that an individual displays due to inherited genes. What name is given to the overall set of genes that an individual has inherited?
Genotype.
That's right. Toss-up 23. More commonly known by its abbreviation, ICBM, this long-range...
Pikeville Thomas.
Intercontinental ballistic missile.
Correct. Bonus 24. This well-known allegory was written while the author was imprisoned for worshiping outside the Church of England. Give the title of this Christian allegory, which has never been out of print. Features such characters as Christian and faithful, and was written by John Bunyan.
I designate Jack. Pilgrim's Progress.
Correct.
Timeout.
Timeout.
Madison.
Madisonville at 4:30 to continue. Toss-up 25. This instrument was used by Camille Saint-Saëns in his Danse Macabre to portray dancing skeletons.
Pikeville Max.
Celesta.
Incorrect. Identify this common percussion instrument in which a set of horizontal wooden bars are struck by wooden sticks.
Madisonville Priscilla.
No, it's a xylophone. Toss-up 26. Vectors A and B are defined by 3, 4, and -1, -9. What is the sum of A and B?
Pikeville shaker.
2 negative 5.
Correct. Bonus 27. This music form incorporates dance to the beat of barrels and maracas and was strongly influenced by the slave trade. Identify this form of Puerto Rican music.
Mambo.
Incorrect, Captain?
Reggaeton.
No, it's bomba. Toss-up 28. Multiple answer required. They are the only 2 bordering countries in the world that have women as heads of state. Identify these 2 South American countries led by Michelle.
Madisonville Aaron.
Chile and Argentina.
You're right. Bonus 29. This journal follows the Pilgrims from the Netherlands through the founding of their colony at Plymouth. Give the title of this 30-year account of the people who sailed on the Mayflower and what transpired in their colony as written by William Bradford.
I designate Aaron.
Of Plymouth Plantation.
Exactly right. Toss-up 30. Proteins are produced within cells using information provided by the DNA in the cell nucleus. What name is given to the tiny organelles that are responsible for this protein?
Masterville Ian.
Ribosomes.
Correct. Bonus 31. Ecologists divide the world into these units to make sense of the variety of interactions among Earth's living things and their environment. What is this ecological unit consisting of all living and non-living things in a certain area that interact with each other?
Biome.
Incorrect, Captain?
Ecosystem.
That's correct. Toss-up 32. Of this mountain, William Clark wrote that, quote, "The pinnacle of the round-topped mountain is at this time topped with snow. We called this the Falls Mountain or Tim Mountain." End quote. Identify this mountain of northern Oregon that was first seen.
Masterville Aaron.
Hood.
Correct. Bonus 33. This famous collection of 10 piano pieces was inspired by the art of the composer's friend, Victor Hartmann. Give the title of this work by Modest Mussorgsky.
I designate Aaron.
Pictures at an exhibition.
Correct. Toss-up 34. This collection contains 44 love poems which were popular.
Uncle Jack.
Songs from the Portuguese.
Correct. Bonus 35. The point, -3, 5, is on a line with slope of 8. Give the point slope form equation of this line.
Sounds good.
I designate Chica.
The quantity y minus 5 equals 8x minus 25.
Incorrect. Captain?
I designate Johnny.
Y minus 5 equals 8 times the quantity x plus 3.
That's correct. Toss-up 36. In 1912, it was found that the shape and size of the atomic patterns in a crystal could be determined by passing X-rays through a sample.
Uncle Max.
Braggs.
Incorrect. What name is given to this procedure that opened up an entirely new way for scientists to study atoms?
Masterville Ian.
Crystallography.
No, it's diffraction. Toss-up 37. This rocky headland is the legendary home of the Flying Dutchman. Visitors have rounded the headland for hundreds of years.
Masterville Aaron.
Cape Hope.
Incorrect. Diaz being the first European to do so. Identify this southern point of South Africa that extends into the Atlantic Ocean.
Uncle Max.
Cape of Good Hope.
That's correct. Bonus 38. The author's admiration for Elisa Schlesinger was the basis for Madame Arnaud, the lover of main character Frederick Moreau. Identify this Gustave Flaubert novel.
I designate Jack.
Madam Bovary.
Incorrect. That's the end of our first half. And the answer was Sentimental Education. Great match, players. Coaches ready?
Yes.
All right, let's continue. Second half, question 1, toss-up. The Broadway musical Jersey Boys blends aspects.
Uncle Max.
Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons.
Judge?
Incorrect.
Incorrect. The Broadway musical Jersey Boys blends aspects of documentary films, concerts, and traditional musical to follow this man's rise to fame along with the other members of his band. Name this man, frontman of the 1960s band The Four Seasons.
Masterville Aaron.
Frankie Valley.
Correct. Bonus 2. These atoms and molecules with a 2-word name are short-lived byproducts of normal cell chemistry, but can cause disease. Give the 2-word name for these atoms and molecules that are very reactive due to having an unpaired electron.
Free radicals.
Correct. Number 3, toss-up. Whether or not Taiwan is a renegade province, as China claims, China does have another island province. Located in the South China Sea, it's a tropical vacation spot, like a less developed Hawaii. Name this province whose capital is Haikou.
Uncle Thomas.
Spratly Islands.
Incorrect.
Tom.
It is Hainan province. Toss-up 4, a companion novel to The Call of the Wild. This work is opposite in theme because it features a wild dog in the so-called civilized world. Which Jack London novel?
Uncle Max.
White Fang.
Correct. Bonus 5, let the natural log of 2 equal x and the natural log of 5 equal y. Express the natural log of 2.5 in terms of x and y.
Y over X.
Incorrect, Captain?
I designate Johnny.
Natural log of y over x.
No, it's y minus x. Toss-up 6. What is the product of the quantity 4 plus I, close quantity, and 2I, where I is the imaginary unit?
Apple chicken.
8I plus 2.
Incorrect.
Madisonville Johnny.
16 minus 3.
Incorrect. 8I minus 2. Toss-up 7. Substrates are the reactants in chemical reactions that involve enzymes which attach a substrate to this.
Apple chicken.
Active
Correct. Bonus 8. This novel tells the story of an orphan girl who goes to live on a farm owned by Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert on Prince Edward Island. Identify this 1908 coming-of-age novel written by Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Anne of Green Gables.
That's correct. Number 9 is a toss-up. Traditionally, this dance is done in 4/4 time and originated in Cuba, though the style of the dance varies with geography. Identify this Latin American dance with a name that also means a spicy sauce of.
Madisonville Priscilla.
Salsa.
Correct. Bonus, number 10. 2-word answer, please. These laws were cast in bronze and attached to the orator's platform in the Roman Forum so that all citizens could read and understand the law. Give the name for this first codification of Roman law that primarily dealt with problems related to property.
12 tables.
Correct. Toss-up 11. Consider the data set 16, 28, 45, 28, 23, and 20. What is the mode of the.
Apple chicken.
28.
Correct. Bonus 12. Many individuals use this process in an attempt to pass urine screens for the presence of various drugs. What is the process of reducing the concentration of a solution by adding a solvent such as water?
Dilution.
That's right. Toss-up 13. Mariano Azuela's novel, The Underdogs, deals with the revolution of this country. Name this country that has spawned such notable writers as Carlos Fuentes and.
Applejack.
Mexico.
That's right. Bonus 14. This advocacy group was created in 1998 to raise public opposition to the impeachment of President Bill Clinton. It has since become one of the most powerful means of fundraising in American politics, often donating to Democratic candidates. Identify this political action committee that received heavy criticism in 2008 for its controversial ads questioning the integrity of General David Petraeus.
Move on.
Correct. Toss-up 15. One of his most famous works was considered so sexual and scandalous that there were riots in Paris after the premiere. Name.
Applejack.
Stravinsky.
Incorrect. Name this famous Russian choreographer of ballets such as Afternoon of a Faun and Rite of Spring.
Madisonville Aaron.
Correct. Bonus 16. This man's many writings include Historia Calamitatum, Ethics, and Sic et Non. Name this man, also remembered for his ill-fated affair with Heloise.
I designate Priscilla.
Correct. 17. Toss-up. Radioactive isotopes are not measured in this decay time because there is always some residual radioactivity.
Apple chicken.
Half-life.
That's right. Bonus 18. This figure was generally a peasant, appointed to preside over the Christmas revelries in England during the 15th and 16th centuries. Name this officer in charge of the Feast of Fools, who could command anyone to do anything he wished during the holiday period.
I designate Thomas.
Habit of unreason.
Correct. Toss-up 19. This novel by Thomas Keneally won the Booker Prize.
Applejack.
Schindler's List.
Correct. Bonus 20. What is the mathematical term referring to the sum of the terms in a numerical sequence?
The supersum.
Incorrect, Captain.
Summation.
No, it's series.
Time out.
Timeout, Madisonville, 528. 21, toss-up. This is the most fundamental law of chemistry and accounts for the balancing of chemical equations.
Apple chicken.
Law of conservation of mass.
That's it. Bonus 22. Poems featured in this collection include Of the Awful Battle of the Peaks and the Pollicles, The Song of the Jellicles, and Old Deuteronomy. Name this collection of poems by T.S. Eliot that served as the basis for the musical Cats.
Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats.
That's right. Toss-up 23. The major and minor axes of an ellipse measure 50 and 14 feet respectively. What is the distance from the center of the ellipse to one of the foci?
Apple Chico.
6 feet.
Incorrect.
Madison Mill Johnny.
4 out of 3.
Incorrect. 24 feet. 24. Toss-up. This form of choreography can be found in kabuki as well as martial arts such as karate, judo, and aikido. What is this word which in karate names any one of the specific series of kicks and punches?
Madison Mill Johnny.
Form.
Incorrect.
Apple Mats.
Motion.
No, it's a kata. Toss-up 25. This term was originally a linguistic term and not a racial one, as it is often used today. What is this word that encompasses those in ancient times who spoke Arabic, Aramaic,
Madison Mill Aaron.
Barbaric.
incorrect, who spoke Arabic, Aramaic, and Hebrew, among others?
Apple Thomas.
Semite.
Correct. 26. Bonus. This man published his first list of atomic weights in absorption of gases in 1805 and put forward the law of partial pressures. Name this English chemist responsible for the basis of the modern atomic theory.
John Dalton.
That's right. Toss-up 27. This phrase comes from Latin meaning at one's pleasure and can be used in music or drama. Give this theatrical term an essential skill to streamline a performance when something unexpected happens.
Apple Max.
Ad-lib.
That's right. Bonus 28. In an isosceles triangle, the base measures 4 feet and each of the other sides measures 10 feet. Because you know the measure of all 3 sides of this triangle, what trigonometric law could you use to find the angle opposite any one of the 3 sides?
Law of cosines.
Right.
Substitution timeout.
Substitution timeout
Enter
at
Johnny.
2:48.
Lucas.
This is the most common type of stanza, and it can have different rhyme schemes and rhythms. Give the term designating any stanza or poem consisting of 4 lines.
Madison Mill Matt.
Correct. Bonus 30. This word is used to designate the domestic and foreign policy strategies of Karl Otto von Bismarck in the 19th century. What is this word that denotes political realism and any loss-minimizing strategy?
I designate Lucas.
Iron wages.
Incorrect,
I
Captain?
designate Thomas.
Real politics.
Correct. Toss-up 31. Let the sine squared of theta equal 0.75, where theta is an acute angle measure. What is the value of cosine of theta?
Apple Chico.
0.25.
Incorrect.
Madison Mill Ian.
25.
That's correct. Bonus 32. This 1977 musical was based on a comic strip about a red-headed orphan who is adopted by a millionaire during the Great Depression. What is the title of this musical, made into a well-known 1982 film starring Eileen Quinn, Albert Finney, and Carol Burnett?
Annie.
Correct. Toss-up 33. This giant storm in the atmosphere of the planet Jupiter is so...
Apple Max.
Great red spot.
That's right. 34 is your bonus. 2 Supreme Court cases dealing with it were Bowers versus Hardwick and Lawrence versus Texas, which overruled the former. Identify this act, often considered indecent, named for a biblical city of sin destroyed by God.
I designate Thomas.
Sodomy.
Correct. Toss-up 35. Identify the error, if any, in the following sentence. Colleen and Stacy, who have a Spanish test tomorrow, is going to the library.
Madison Mill Priscilla.
It should be R.
Correct. Bonus 36. This director worked for Look magazine in the late 1940s before directing films such as Paths of Glory, Lolita, and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Who was this acclaimed director of films such as Dr. Strangelove and A Clockwork Orange?
I designate Matt.
Correct. Toss-up 37. Examples of this type of rock include limestone, sandstone.
Michael Thomas.
Cemetery.
That's right. Bonus 38. One of this word's lesser used meanings refers to a rapid drum beat, which is often used in militaries to signify orders for soldiers. What word beginning with T more commonly refers... Incorrect. What word more commonly? Tattoo.
Oh, okay.
End of the match. We have a 3-minute period for inquiries.
Okay, we ready? Ready, Judge? Who's the captain over here? Okay, Max, and who's the captain? Hi. Who are your coaches? That person, okay.
Let's see, we've got Billy Newsom and Bennett Stewart and Karen Murphy and Little Ben Stewart.
Someone's on.
Okay. Let's start off with the toss-up number 1. With Fernando Gonzalez's defeat of Roger Federer at the 2008 Olympics, this athlete became the #1 ranked tennis player in the world.
Rafael Nadal.
That's correct. Bonus number 2. In this type of government, the regime can be highly repressive, but still respects various aspects of the private sector. What form of government is less extreme than a totalitarian government, an example of which is Saudi Arabia?
Tell me something.
Monarchy. I designate Thomas. Monarchy.
Incorrect, Captain.
Absolute monarchy.
That's correct. Toss-up 3. One of the first books on military tactics, this treatise impacted...
Pikeville, Jack. The Art of War.
That is correct. Bonus number 4. The daughter of Lord Byron, this mathematician, was an assistant to Charles Babbage. She is known as the first programmer and has a programming language named after her. Name her.
I designate Chica.
Mary Grace Hopper.
Incorrect, Captain.
Java.
Ada Lovelace. Toss-up 5. These substances are usually proteins and can trigger a protective defense mechanism in the body called an immune response. Give the name of these substances.
Pikeville, Thomas. Histamines.
Incorrect. Continuing. Give the name of these substances that is short for antibody generators.
Davis, George. Antihistamines.
Incorrect. Antigens. Toss-up 6. It took over 202 years for this amendment to the U.S. Constitution to be ratified. Identify this amendment.
Davis, Michael. 27th Amendment.
That's correct. Bonus number 7. Now housed at the Louvre, this sculpture was designed for the tomb of Pope Julius II. Named as Michelangelo work which inspired the Rodin sculpture Age of Bronze.
Abraham.
Incorrect, Captain. Hesitation. It's a dying slave. Toss-up 8. These plants are described as non-vascular because they lack the conducting tissue of other plants. Identify this plant division that includes water.
Pikeville, Chica.
Bryophyta.
That's correct. Bonus number 9. Though this man inherited a substantial amount of money from his father, he squandered it traveling in Egypt. Name this Roman, author of The Golden Ass and Cupid and Psyche.
I designate Jack.
Apuleius.
That's correct. Toss-up 10. Variables t and x are inversely proportional to each other. When t is 8...
Pikeville, Chica.
16.
Incorrect. I'll continue. When t is 8, x equals 7.5. What is the value of t when x equals 0.05?
Davis, George. 16.
Incorrect. I have 1,200. Toss-up 11. According to Abraham Maslow, after a person's physiological needs...
Pikeville, Thomas. Hierarchy of needs.
Incorrect. I'll continue. After a person's psychological needs, safety needs, and needs for love and belonging have been met, these needs come next. What type of need precedes a person's need for self-actualization?
Davis, George. Need for friendship.
Incorrect. It's esteem needs. Toss-up 12. The volume of a circular cone is 24 pi cubic inches. Its height is 6 inches. What is the cylinder's radius?
Pikeville, Chica.
12 inches.
Incorrect.
Davis, George. 2 inches.
Incorrect. 2 radical 3 inches. Toss-up 13. This man began his career by opening a small photography business before moving on to create images such as Winter, Fifth Avenue. Name this New York photographer known for making photography a recognized art form and for marrying Georgia.
Pikeville Max.
Stieglitz.
That's correct. Bonus number 14. This order of mammals includes 40% of mammal species and can be found in vast numbers on all continents except Antarctica. What order is characterized by two continuously growing incisors that must be kept short by gnawing?
Rodentia.
That's correct. Toss-up 15. This poem is found in the Exeter book and has only one character, a man who has lost his family.
Pikeville Jack.
The Wanderer.
That's correct. Bonus 16. Sometimes this measure of inflation is known as the cost of living index. What is this tool used by the Department of Labor to monitor the cost of certain goods?
CPI.
That's correct. Toss-up 17. This 16th century Venetian architect drew on ancient Roman sources for his many villas designed.
Pikeville Thomas.
Palladio.
That's correct. Bonus number 18. This term is derived from the metallic gold coloration found in the pupae of many butterflies, referred to by the Greek word for gold. What pupal stage of butterflies is also known as nympha?
I designate Shiga.
Chrysalis?
That's correct. Toss-up 19. Two-word name, please. Though this copy of the Latin Vulgate was not the first book printed on the famous printing press, it is by far the most famous.
Pikeville Thomas.
Gutenberg Bible.
That's correct. Bonus 20. What is the volume of a circular cone in cubic feet with radius of 1 yard and height of 8 feet?
I got it.
I designate Shiga.
24 pi feet cubed.
That's correct. Toss-up 21. Members of the economic school known as the physiocrats rejected mercantilism because of its promotion of trade and restriction.
Pikeville Thomas.
Laissez-faire.
Incorrect. I'll continue. Restriction on this economic sector. Identify this sector which was promoted by the physiocrats.
Davis George. Private sector.
Incorrect. Agriculture. Toss-up 22. The titular figure in this Ben Jonson poem also appears in his Pikeville poem. Give the title of this poem that opens with the lines, "Drink to me only."
Pikeville Jack. Cecilia.
Incorrect. Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge thee mine with mine.
Davis George. Cecilia.
Incorrect. The song to Celia is what I was looking for. Toss-up 23. This playwright is known for the creation of epic theater, which...
Pikeville Jack. Bertolt Brecht.
That's correct. Toss-up, or bonus 24. This type of trait will always be expressed if it is inherited by an offspring from either parent. What term describes the type of trait that always overpowers recessive traits?
Dominant.
That's correct. Toss-up 25. Give your answer in simplest radical form. Two legs of a right triangle measure 9 and 13 centimeters. What is the measure of the hypotenuse? Time 5 radical 10 centimeters. Toss-up 26. These structures can be found on cells lining the respiratory and reproductive.
Davis George. Cilia.
That's correct. Bonus 27. This layer of rock is located beneath the soil and the regolith. This is a bonus. What is the unweathered layer of rock known as?
Base rock.
Incorrect.
I
Captain.
designate Shiga.
Bedrock.
That's correct. Toss-up 28. Named Gustavus Vasa.
Pikeville Jack.
Equiana.
That's correct. Bonus number 29. This man's quest for theatrical truth led to the creation of a nation-state system for acting methodology. Who was this man whose method was utilized by such actors as Marlon Brando and James Dean?
Konstantin Stanislavski.
That's correct. Toss-up 30. Vectors n and m are orthogonal to each other. N and m are given by 9, 3 and 6, a. What is the value of a?
Pikeville Shika.
2.
Incorrect.
Davis George. -18.
That's correct. Bonus number 31. This river begins at the confluence of the Paraná and Uruguay rivers. Identify the South American river with the widest estuary in the world.
Amazon.
song.
Incorrect. Captain.
I designate Thomas.
View.
Hesitation. Rio de la Plata. Toss-up 32. Lines from this elegy include, "But now thy youngest, dearest one has perished, like a pale flower by some sad maiden cherished." What is the title of this poem written by Percy Bysshe Shelley commemorating the death?
Pikeville Jack.
Ananias.
That's correct. Bonus number 33. Taking without harming is the key to this ecological relationship. In which type of ecological relationship does one species benefit and the other is not obviously affected?
Commensalism.
That's correct. Toss-up 34. This man began composing for Tim Burton films with Pee-wee's Big Adventure and went on to compose for Edward Scissorhands, Batman, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Named this American composer, also known for composing the theme song for the television series The Simpsons.
Pikeville Jack.
Danny Elfman.
That's correct. Bonus number 35. Y minus x equals 21, and x plus y equals 11. What is the value of 2x minus 3y?
I designate Sheikah.
Negative 38.
Incorrect. Captain?
44.
Incorrect. Negative 58. Toss-up 36. A saint named Augustine from this English city is credited with having brought Christianity to Britain in 597 AD.
Pikeville Max.
Hippo.
Incorrect. Continuing, identify the sacred city of Britain, more commonly associated with the shrine dedicated to St. Thomas of Aquin.
Davis Michael.
That's correct. Bonus 37. The reaction between magnesium and oxygen creates magnesium oxide and releases energy. What name is given to a chemical reaction in which energy is released?
Exothermic.
That's correct. Toss-up 38. This novel relates the tale of a high-minded, idealistic intellectual who climbs the social ladder of 19th century France, which leads to his beheading. Give the title of this book, which features Julien Sorel.
Pikeville Jack.
The red and the black.
That's correct. Bonus 39. Though there is little surviving written music from the Middle Ages because it was so time-consuming to write down, this abbess composed plain chants for performance in the church. What abbess oversaw the notation of her works, including Ordo Virtutem?
Yeah. Hildegard von Bingen.
Richtig. Toss-up 40. What is the value of g of f of negative 3 if f of x equals negative 2x cubed plus 7 and g of x equals 4x minus 1?
Don.
243. Toss-up 41. This musical work opened in Budapest in May 1918 with the title character introducing his new wife, Judith, at the beginning of the opera. Give the title of this opera based upon a tale by Charles Perrault.
Davis George. Mary Figaro.
Incorrect. Continuing, that was composed by Bela Bartok.
Pikeville Max.
Bard Bride.
Incorrect. Bluebeard's Castle. Toss-up 42. Name and identifying region, please. She was widowed in 1502 when her husband Arthur.
Pikeville Thomas.
Isabella of Castile.
Incorrect. Continuing, the Prince of Wales died. Identify this woman who in 1509 became the first wife of King Henry VIII.
Davis George.
Catherine of Aragon.
That's correct. Bonus 43. This man calculated the atomic weights of many elements, including some that had not yet been discovered. But Russian chemists developed the first periodic table based on atomic weights.
Mendeleev.
That's correct. Toss-up 44. Though this man was a practicing doctor, he is more famous today for his poetry. Identify this American poet of works such as The Autocrat at the Breakfast Table and Old Ironsides.
Pikeville Jack.
Oliver Wendell Holmes.
That's correct. Bonus 45. What is the value of the log base 3 of 81?
4.
That's correct. Toss-up 46. This historical period is also known as the First Agricultural Revolution. What is the
Pikeville Thomas.
Neolithic.
That's correct. Bonus 47. The carbon atoms contained in a hydrocarbon may have single, double, or triple bonds between one another. What name is given to hydrocarbons that have at least one triple bond between two carbon atoms?
Alkynes.
That's correct. Toss-up 48. This boy is raised by wolves and befriends Bagheera, the panther, and...
Davis George.
Mosley.
That's correct. Bonus number 49. This modern tap choreographer grew up in Kansas City and admits that as a young dancer he was a snob who preferred pure rhythm tap to an emphasis on presentation tap. who began his dance career as a member of the Gangbusters and is now the principal choreographer of the Chicago Tap Theater.
Bojangles.
Incorrect, Captain.
Alvin Ailey.
Incorrect, Mark Yonali. Toss up 50. What is the product of the quantity 3 plus I, close quantity, the quantity of 1 plus 3I, close quantity, and the quantity 2I? It's time. Negative 20, that's the hat. 3 minutes for inquiry. Third voyage to the New World, Christopher Columbus did much of his exploring around the Orinoco River. At what?
Pikeville, Thomas.
That's correct. Bonus number 2. The correlation coefficient for a data set is 0.01. What is the coefficient of determination for the set?
0.01.
Incorrect, Captain.
100.
Incorrect, 0.0001. Toss up 3. These compounds can be corrosive, taste sour, and form salt.
Pikeville, Max.
Acids.
That's correct, bonus 4. This man attended West Point and now leads all active Division I men's basketball coaches in winning percentage in the NCAA tournament. Who is the head basketball coach at Duke University?
I designate Chica.
Coach Krzyzewski.
That's correct. Toss up 5. This novel is told partially in flashback to the time of Fermina Daza and Florentino Ariza fell in love before Fermina married Dr. Urbino. Give the title of this novel in which Florentino Ariza...
Davis George.
Love in a Time of Cholera.
That's correct. Bonus number 6. After World War I, this country's Prime Minister, István Tisza, was murdered, but was shortly succeeded by the communist Bela Kun. Identify the Central European country whose most notable communist leader after World War II was Imre Nagy.
Hungary.
That's correct. Toss up 7. The sum of an arithmetic progression that has first term 30 and has 100 terms is 500. What is the last term in the sequence? Negative 20, toss up 8. This German-American Christian existentialist developed the method of correlation in which the Christian would explore the symbols of Christian revelation as answers to the problems of human existence.
Davis George.
Young.
Incorrect. Continuing. What theologian wrote the 3-volume religious work, Systematic Theology?
Pikeville, Jack.
Incorrect. Paul Tillich. Toss up 9. This novel centers on Takashi, a soccer trainer who starts an uprising against the emperor. Identify this novel by Japanese novelist Kenzaburo Koi.
Pikeville, Jack.
The Silent Cry.
That's correct. Bonus number 10. This scientific experiment was performed by Robert Millikan and advanced modern atomic theory. Identify this experiment that proved electrons have a negative electrical charge.
Oil drop experiment.
That's correct. Toss up 11. This city became the capital of Japan in 1603.
Pikeville, Thomas.
Edo.
That's correct. Bonus number 12. This country was the birthplace of the philosopher who wrote Ethics, which disputed René Descartes' theory of dualism. Identify this country, home to Baruch Spinoza, Rembrandt, Vermeer, and Van Gogh.
Netherlands.
That's correct. Toss up 13. This novel's sequels include Sons and A House Divided, making up a trilogy.
Pikeville, Jack.
The Good Earth.
That's correct. Bonus number 14. This type of substance can create an external surface of clearly defined smooth spaces, such as that of quartz and table salt. What type of substance has a 3-dimensional arrangement of its atoms or molecules?
Crystalline.
Judge?
Incorrect.
Captain?
Crystalline solid.
Incorrect. We just have crystal here. Toss up 15. What type of conic section is given by the equation 4x squared plus 8x?
Pikeville, Chica.
Ellipse.
Incorrect. I'll continue. 4x squared plus 8x plus 4y minus 33 equals 0.
Davis George.
Parabola.
That's correct. Bonus number 16. Born in Newton, Wales, this social reformer converted from utilitarianism to socialism while working with a community known as New Lanark. Identify this utopian thinker who later moved to Indiana and started a community known as New Harmony.
Bentham.
Incorrect, Captain?
I designate Thomas.
Incorrect. It's Robert Owen. Okay, toss up 17. The best-known member of the generation of 27, this poet and dramatist was shot and killed during the onset of the Spanish Civil War. Who was this author of such popular works as Yerma, The House of Bernarda Alba, and Bloodwedding?
Pikeville, Jack.
Federico Garcia Lorca.
That's correct. Bonus number 18. The variables f, a, and b are related such that f varies directly as the sum of a and b. For instance, when f equals 18 and b equals 9, a equals negative 21. What is the value of f when a and b both equal negative 3?
9.
That's correct. Toss-up 19. This branch of fluid physics studies such things as airflow around aircraft, land
Aeronautics.
incorrect, I'll continue. Land vehicles and bullets. What branch studies the forces exerted by air and other gases in motion?
Davis Blake.
Ballistics.
Incorrect, aerodynamics. Toss-up 20. This Broadway musical features characters such as Philia, Hero, Domina, and Pseudolus, which...
Pikeville Jack.
A funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
That's correct. Bonus number 21. After the rise of Nazi Germany, Arnold Schoenberg's new music was labeled degenerate and banned because it used a 12-tone scale instead of traditional keys. Though Schoenberg himself resented the name given to his development, what do we call compositions written by the chromatic scale rather than a key?
Atonal.
That's correct. Toss-up 22. The product of matrix B times matrix H has dimensions 4 by 7. The dimensions of matrix H are 7 by 7. What are the dimensions of matrix?
Davis George.
4 by 7.
That's correct. Bonus 23. The speaker in this poem asks if the titular topic dries up like a raisin in the sun or fester like a sore and then run. Give the title of this famous Harlem Renaissance poem, also known by the title Harlem, written by Langston Hughes.
Love.
Incorrect, Captain.
Dream deferred.
That's correct. Toss-up 24. This French physicist gave the first theoretical account of heat engines and is often called...
Pikeville Chico.
Carnot.
That's correct. Bonus number 25. This group of Pueblo Indians was formerly known as Moki and was known for defending their lands against the Navajo. Identify this tribe known for producing the mysterious Kachina dolls.
Hopi.
That's correct.
Time
Toss-up
out.
Time out.
Substitute.
We ready to continue? Continuing, we good? Toss-up 26. He was the product of the incestuous relationship between Pelopia and her father, Thyestes, named Clytemnestra's lover, who was killed by Orestes. Aegisthus. Toss-up 27. The sine of 36.9 degrees is approximately 0.6. Given this, what is the cosine of 36.9 degrees rounded to the nearest tenth?
Davis George.
0.4.
Incorrect.
Pikeville Carolyn.
22.5.
Incorrect. 0.8. Toss-up 28. This Jewish writer from New Jersey hit it big in the 1950s with Goodbye Columbus, and since then has become one of the foremost contemporary American novelists. Give the name of this author of the novels I Married a Communist, Portnoy's Complaint, and American Pastoral.
Pikeville Emily.
Sinclair.
Incorrect.
Same.
Oh,
Davis George.
Dreiser.
incorrect. Philip Roth. Toss-up 29. This president was especially known for his mistreatment of Native Americans, having had...
Davis George.
Andrew Jackson.
That's correct. Bonus 30. Wavelength, shown by this letter, is defined as the distance between two consecutive points on a wave. What Greek letter is used to designate wavelength of a wave?
Lambda.
That's correct. Toss-up 31. After her release from a prison sentence for possession of narcotics, this woman performed some of her most famous songs, such as Strange Fruit.
Pikeville Solomon.
Britney Spears.
Incorrect. Continuing at Carnegie Hall, identify this woman, subject of the movie based on her autobiography, Lady Sings the Blues.
Davis George.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Incorrect. Billie Holiday. Toss-up 32. In this campaign, Robert E. Lee mounted a counteroffensive known as the 7 Days Battles, because causing McClellan to retreat. Give the name of this Civil War campaign.
Davis George.
Peninsular Campaign.
That's correct. Bonus number 33. This book is famous for recognizing an elite group of scholars that makes up only 10% of the entire black population. Identify this 1903 treatise written by W.E.B. Du Bois.
In praise of genius.
Incorrect, Captain?
Souls of Black Hawk.
That's correct. Toss-up 34. This type of circuit provides separate paths for current to travel through each of
Pikeville, Carolyn.
Parallel.
That's correct. Bonus number 35. Although the concept can be traced back to antiquity, the phrase for this coordinate system first appeared in English in 1816. Unlike the Cartesian grid system, what coordinate system is defined by a radial distance and angle?
Polar.
That's correct. Toss-up 36. During the Spanish-American War, this island was invaded by the U.S. with General William Shafter as the commander. Identify this Caribbean island that was the site of the battle.
Davis, George.
Cuba.
That's correct. Bonus number 37. Consider the vector sine of theta, comma, cosine of theta. What is its norm?
Zero.
Incorrect, Captain.
Undefined.
1. Toss-up 38. This extended metaphor can be rather far-fetched and exaggerated, and is usually a display of wit by the...
Davis, George.
Conceit.
That's correct. Bonus 39. This musical group was first formed in 1881 and built a reputation in the early 20th century by broadcasting its concerts on the radio. Max Fiedler, James Levine, and Seiji Ozawa are among the musical directors of what symphony orchestra, which has been in existence since 1881?
New York Philharmonic.
Incorrect, Captain.
New York Symphony.
Incorrect, Boston Symphony Orchestra. Toss-up 40. This scientist invented a carbon zinc electric cell for use in arc lamps in 1841. Name the German chemist who also lends his name to the most common heating tool used in laboratories.
Pikeville, Emily.
Bunsen.
Pardon?
Bunsen.
That's correct. Bonus number 41. Identify the indirect object in the following sentence. After fixing his sister Sarah's flat tire, David wished her good luck on the rest of her trip.
Sarah.
Incorrect, Captain?
Her.
That's correct. Toss-up 42. The Glass-Steagall Act of 1933 created this program to restore confidence in the banking system. Identify...
Pikeville, Carolyn.
Akiasi.
That's correct. Bonus 43. This quantity can be calculated at any distance if we know how far away a star is and how bright it appears. What is the two-word term for the brightness that a star would have at a distance of 10 parsecs?
Absolute magnitude.
That's correct. Toss-up 44. Though he attempts suicide by both crashing his car and inhaling gas from the water heater.
Pikeville, Emily.
Willie Lemon.
That's correct. Bonus number 45. What is the sum of the cosine of 30 degrees, the cosine of 60 degrees, and the cosine of 150 degrees?
Cosine 240 degrees.
Incorrect, Captain.
The quantity 1 plus 2 radical 3 closed quantity divided by
Incorrect. 1/2. Toss-up 46. Her most famous work shows masterful aesthetics, but because of its controversial subject, her film career failed following World War II. Name the director of the Nazi propaganda film Triumph of the Will. Leni Riefenstahl. Toss-up 47. To fight communism in Vietnam, this American president supported the Strategic Hamlet program, meant to organize country people in South Vietnam into fortified camps, isolating them from the communists. Identify this president who
Davis, George.
Eisenhower.
incorrect, continuing, who during the early stages of the Vietnam conflict committed 400 special operations troops to train the South Vietnamese army of Diem.
Pikeville, Emily.
Lyndon Johnson.
Incorrect, John Kennedy. Toss-up 48. The altar boy brought the censer to the priest. Spell the word in the preceding sentence that refers to a container for incense.
Pikeville, Emily.
CENSOR.
Incorrect.
Davis, George.
CENSER.
That's correct. Bonus 49. This instrument is often used in prospecting, but was originally invented in order to study earthquakes. What scientific device measures the intensity of waves given off by earthquakes?
Seismograph.
That's correct. Toss-up 50. What is the limit of the rational function quantity 4 minus 7x closed quantity divided by x as x approaches it?
Davis, George.
-7.
That's correct, and that's a half.
Auditorium, are we ready? Teams? Here we go. 1, toss up. Formed in 1889, this institution initially worked under the Meiji Constitution. Identify this bicameral legislature of Japan.
Dunbar Bryant.
Correct. 2, bonus. This German mathematician was born in 1777 and wrote his Disquisitiones Arithmeticae, at the age of 21. Name this man who is also closely associated with the normal distribution curve. Correct. 3, toss up. This structure is a long cytoplasmic extension from the main body.
Dunbar Pasticha.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. The structure is a long cytoplasmic extension from the main body of a nerve cell. What structure sends nerve impulses from one neuron to another?
Pikeville, Chica.
Dendrite.
Incorrect. Axon. 4, toss up. This word comes from the Greek and means those who are hidden, those which are hidden away, and most commonly refers to sacred texts not included in the canon.
Pikeville, Jack.
Apocrypha.
Correct. 5, bonus. This word refers to the metal sleeve around the tuft of a paintbrush, which helps to give the brush its shape. Identify this 7-letter term beginning with F.
Foreman.
Incorrect. Captain. Incorrect. Ferial. 6, toss-up. This dramatic genre is highly popular with school and community theater groups because it has no set and a very small cast. What 2-word type of play that usually lasts less than 10 minutes?
Dunbar J.
Repeat your answer. Incorrect. I'll repeat. What 2-word type of play that usually lasts less than 10 minutes is named for its short duration?
Pikeville, Max.
Sea blood.
Incorrect. Flash drama. 7, toss up. This tissue surrounds the seed embryo and is produced.
Pikeville, Max.
Seed
Incorrect. I'll repeat. This tissue surrounds the seed embryo and is produced by a process similar to fertilization. Name this nutritive tissue that feeds the plant as it develops from the seed.
Dunbar J.
Incorrect. Endosperm. 8, toss up. This U.S. Cabinet Department became an independent agency in 1970. Identify.
Pikeville, Thomas.
Department of Energy.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. Identify this government-owned corporation whose closest private competitors are FedEx and UPS.
Dunbar Pat. Sheep. How do you say that?
US Postal Service.
Correct. 9, bonus. This work begins with chaos and moves to Gaia, Eros, and Tartarus, then to Uranus, Zeus, and the Titans. What is the title of this work by Hesiod, which gives the genealogy of the gods? Correct. 9, toss up. When a transversal cuts 2 parallel.
Pikeville, Chica.
Hyperbola.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. When a transversal cuts 2 parallel lines, one pair of alternate interior angles measure 62 degrees each. What is the measure of the other pair of alternate interior angles?
Dunbar J.
Correct. 11, bonus. This structure is located within the temporal lobes and lies adjacent to the amygdala. Identify this collection of neurons in the brain that is shaped like a horseshoe. Incorrect. Captain?
Designate Shiga.
Hippocampus.
Correct.
Time
12.
out. Time out.
Here we go. Time back in. 12. Toss up. The author of this treatise explains that a Christian's focus should be on heaven rather than political strife on earth, such as the then recent sacking of Rome.
Pikeville, Thomas.
City of God.
Correct. 13. Bonus. The diagonal of a rectangular prism measures 26 meters. The width and length of the rectangular prism are 6 and 8 meters. What is its height?
meters.
Incorrect. Captain. Hesitation. 24 meters. 14. Toss-up. This branch of biology was first established in British universities by Thomas Henry Huxley. Identify this branch of biology in which scientists study animals of every kind.
Pikeville, Chica.
Zoology.
Correct. 15. Bonus. This element of music can be described with such words as crescendo, sforzando, pianissimo, and forte. What is this term referring to the loudness or softness of the music?
Dynamics.
Correct. 16. Toss-up. These goods are preferred merely because they are expensive, making them very exclusive.
Pikeville, Thomas.
Luxury.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. These goods are preferred merely because they are expensive, making them very exclusive. What goods are named after a Norwegian economist known for coining the term conspicuous consumption?
Dunbar, Eileen.
Sorry, repeat your answer.
Upward.
Correct. 17, bonus. This is considered one of the most diverse groups of animals because it is adapted to every part of the world, from polar to tropic regions. Give the name of this sometimes parasitic group that is commonly referred to as the roundworms. Correct. 18, toss-up. This Renaissance structure is well known for the Medici Chapel and the innovative engineering of its dome. Give the name.
Dunbar, Vitra.
Incorrect, I'll repeat. Give the name of this church, built primarily under the direction of Filippo Brunelleschi.
Pikeville, Jack.
Florence Cathedral.
Incorrect, the Basilica of San Lorenzo. 19, toss-up. Though some productions have characterized him as being senile and rambling, others depict the Shakespearean...
Dunbar, Vitra.
Incorrect, I'll repeat. Though some productions have characterized him as being senile and rambling, others depict the Shakespearean character as more sinister, even involving himself in the murder of the previous king. Name this courtier, father of Laertes and Ophelia, whose bits of advice include neither a borrower nor a lender be.
Pikeville, Jack.
Correct. 20, bonus. What is the surface area of a cylinder with radius of 3 centimeters and height of 5 centimeters?
Isn't it Chica?
39 pi centimeters squared.
I can't. Repeat your answer.
39 pi centimeters squared.
Incorrect. Captain?
48 pi centimeters squared.
Correct. 21, toss-up. This selective breeding technique is used to keep various breeds of plants and animals genetically pure. What is this crossing of plants or animals with others that...
Dunbar, Brian.
I'll repeat. What is this crossing of plants or animals with others that have the same or similar sets of genes?
Pikeville, Chica.
Test cross.
Incorrect. Inbreeding. 22, toss-up. This pessimistic economic principle states that incompetent workers are promoted...
Pikeville, Thomas.
Peter principle.
Incorrect, I'll repeat. This pessimistic economic principle states that incompetent workers are promoted to high-level jobs. What is this principle named after a cartoon character created by Scott Adams?
Dunbar, Brian.
Correct. 23, bonus. This type of high-pitched singing is performed by the Queen of the Night in Mozart's The Magic Flute. What is this term referring to any elaborately ornamented soprano song? Incorrect. Captain?
Coloratura.
Correct. 24, toss-up. This well-known poem can be found in the Kilmarnock volume of poetry by Robert Burns. Give the title of this poem, from which John Steinbeck took the title.
Dunbar, Vitra.
Correct. 25, bonus. Two legs of a right triangle measure 1.4 and 0.6. What is the square of the hypotenuse? Correct. 26, toss-up. The solstice in this month is when the sun is at 23.5 degrees south of the equator.
Pikeville, Chica.
December.
Correct. 27, bonus. This essay was published in 1790 under the pseudonym Constantia. What is the title of this early feminist essay written by Judith Sargent Murray?
The second sex.
Incorrect. Captain? Incorrect. On the equality of the sexes. 28, toss-up. This organelle provides an internal protein framework that gives the cell strength.
Dunbar, Brian.
Correct. 29, bonus. Oh, sorry. This type of music began in churches as part of Mass and is still closely associated with religious services. Give the phrase for this style of music, which often appears in popular music as a prompt by one group and the answer by the other. Correct. 30, toss-up. What is the dot product of vectors given by 0.4, 6, -3, and -6, -0.6, and -1? -3. 31, toss-up. One of this country's most attractive regions is the wine-producing Douro region, whose largest city is Porto. Give the name of this Western European country, whose other cities include Vila Nova de Gaia and Lisbon.
Dunbar, Brian.
Correct. 32, bonus. This composer's works include the score for the films The Sandlot, The Brave Little Toaster, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Name this American composer whose more recent credits include the movies How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Daddy Daycare, and Monster-in-Law.
Johnson.
Incorrect. Captain?
Phillips.
Incorrect. David Newman. 33, toss-up. This part of a pond might include fish, frogs, snails, microorganisms.
Dunbar, J.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. This part of a pond might include fish, frogs, snails, microorganisms, and water lilies. What is this living part of an ecosystem consisting of all organisms that live together in an area?
Pikeville, Chica.
Community.
Correct. 34, bonus. Though this man is better known as a poet, he was a proficient artist, even giving drawing lessons to Queen Victoria for a time. Identify this nonsense poet who wrote The Owl and the Pussycat, who was famous for his limericks.
Lauderdale.
Incorrect. Captain?
That doesn't include her.
Correct. 35, toss-up. What is the value of the discriminant for the quadratic equation x squared minus 4x plus 9 equals 0?
Dunbar, J.
Incorrect.
Pikeville, Chica.
Maybe 20.
Correct. 36, bonus. Amos the First freed Egypt of these rulers who invaded the land around 1600 BC. Identify these warrior people that once inhabited the land of Canaan.
Excess.
Correct. 37, toss-up. Consider the function f of x equals the absolute value of x plus 9. Give the domain on which the function...
Pikeville, Chica.
X is greater than negative 9.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. Give the domain on which the function is increasing. X is greater than 0. 38, toss-up. This process combines nitrogen and hydrogen in gaseous form, the result of which is cooled into liquid form. Name this industrial process through...
Dunbar, J.
I'm sorry, repeat your answer. Haber. Okay, correct.
Speak up.
39, toss-up. This term comes from a Latin word meaning dice and describes music which has at least parts of its composition left to chance. What is the name for this type of music used by John Cage in his piece Music of Changes? Incorrect. Captain?
Fixed.
Incorrect. Aleatoric. 40, toss-up. While in prison, this memorable character from French literature becomes a well-educated man thanks to his prison mate, Abbe.
Pikeville, J.
Edmund Dantes.
Correct. 41, bonus. Charles de Bray was defeated by the forces of Henry V in this monumental 1415 battle. Name this decisive battle fought in northern France during the 100 Years' War.
Agincourt.
Correct. 42, toss-up. This is the title of an 1875 Pomp Kelly opera based upon a play titled Angelo, Tyrant of Padua by Victor Hugo. What is this title that also serves as an alternate title for the Da Vinci painting, The Mona Lisa?
Pikeville, J.
La Gioconda.
Correct. 43, bonus. The value of 5 cubed divided by 5 raised to the x power equals 625. What is the value of x?
-1.
Correct. 44, toss-up. This famous novel was based upon Nathaniel Hawthorne's own guilt about his family's puritanical past.
Dunbar, Pacifica.
Scarlet Letter.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. This famous novel is based upon Nathaniel Hawthorne's own guilt about his family's puritanical past and is based upon a curse supposedly left on the family during the Salem witch trials. Which Hawthorne novel features the Pynchon family?
Pikeville, J.
House of the Seven Gables.
Correct. 45, bonus. This property of an element allows it to exist in 2 or more forms with different properties, but the same state of matter. What property describes the diamond and graphite forms of carbon?
Allotropism.
Correct. 46, toss-up. Narrated by Roger Byam, it's a prequel to the novels Men Against the Sea and Pitcairn's Island. Name this.
Dunbar, Eileen.
Correct. 47, bonus. There are 20 different variations of this molecule that occur in significant quantities in the human body. Give the 2-word name for these individual units that compose all proteins.
Amino acids.
Correct. 48, toss-up. This basic dance step can be found in dances from line dances to jazz and swing. Name this common dance step, which consists of a partial weight change on either the heel. End of the game. Hey, I'm sorry. 3 minutes, please. Brian, and the score at half is, Madam Scorekeeper.
Dunbar 18, Pikeville 17.
All right, here we go. I'm in. 1, toss-up. For Native American tribes of Massachusetts, this word referred to any great war chief. What is this word beginning with S, whose most notable example is King Philip, or Metacomet, of the Wampanoag tribe?
Pikeville Max.
Shaman.
Incorrect.
Dunbar Pathitra.
Incorrect. Sachem. 2, toss-up. The probability that a magician will draw a rabbit out of a hat is 0.5, and the probability that the rabbit is eating a carrot is 0.6.
Pikeville Shika.
3/5.
Hesitation, it's wrong. The probability, I'll repeat, the probability that the magician will draw a rabbit out of the hat is 0.5, and the probability that the rabbit is eating a carrot is 0.6. The probability that either of these events will occur is 0.75. By the addition rule of probability, what is the probability that the first and second events both occur? .35. 3, toss-up. This is a chemical compound that gives a solution with a pH higher than 7 when dissolved in water.
Dunbar Brian.
Correct. 4, bonus. This man was married 3 times, won 9 Tony Awards for direction and choreography, and won an Academy Award for his direction of Cabaret. Who was his choreographer, whose life is the basis of the movie All That Jazz? Incorrect. Captain.
Bob Fosse.
Correct. 5, toss-up. While in a tea room in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, 3 characters, Willie, Sam, and Hallie, explore the concept of apartheid on a rainy afternoon in 1950. This is the setting of what most famous play by the South African playwright Athol Fugard.
Pikeville Jack.
I forgot.
Dunbar Pavitra.
Incorrect. Master Harold and the Boys. 6, toss-up. After World War I, the Treaty of Neuilly set the terms for this member nation of the Central Powers. Identify this Balkan nation that was created.
Pikeville Thomas.
Bulgaria.
Correct. 7, bonus. The sum of the integers from -50 to 53 inclusive can be expressed as 3x. Give the value of x.
.52.
Correct. 8, toss-up. This best-selling novel, which tells of a beautiful young girl bearing the child of a priest, was adapted into a popular television miniseries. Name this novel, written by Australian Colleen McCulloch. The Thornbirds. 9, toss-up. This nuclear process generally results in free neutrons and lighter nuclei, which may in turn produce photons. Identify the process in which a larger nucleus is broken down.
Dunbar Pink.
Hesitation, I'll repeat. Identify the process in which a larger nucleus is broken down into smaller parts.
Pikeville Shika.
Fission.
Correct. 10, bonus. Though her father had locked her in a tower to keep her from conceiving, Zeus impregnated this woman by impersonating a shower of golden rain. Name this woman of Greek mythology who eventually gave birth to Perseus.
Io.
Incorrect. Captain. Correct. 11, toss-up. Born to French descendants in Valparaiso, this man graduated from military school as a second lieutenant in 1937. Identify this former president and senator for life who led the...
Pikeville Thomas.
Hesitation, I'll repeat. Identify this former president and senator for life who led the September 11th, 1973 coup in Chile that ousted Salvador Allende as president.
Dunbar Pink.
Correct. 12, bonus. The distance from one of the foci of the ellipse to the center is 6. What is the difference of the squares of the major and minor axes of the ellipse? Incorrect. Captain?
I designate Sheikah.
6.
Incorrect. 144. 13, toss-up. This large book is based on the author's own experiences as well as numerous other first-hand accounts. Give the title of this work by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, which showed...
Pikeville Jack.
The log archipelago.
Correct. 14, bonus. This measurement is equal to an object's mass per unit volume and is measured in kilograms per cubic meter. What is this measure of the compactness of a substance designated by the equation D equals M over V?
Density.
Correct. 15, toss-up. Though this philosophy had its roots in the theories of Aristotle and Plato, the most generally recognized form was introduced in the 17th century. What is this philosophy, espoused by René Descartes, that holds the body and the mind are separate entities?
Pikeville Thomas. Dualism.
Correct. 16, bonus. In 1882, it was declared by the U.S. government that the arrival of workers of this ethnicity endangered the good order of certain localities within the territory thereof. What ethnicity was duly excluded from immigration as a result of this act of Congress?
Chinese.
Correct. 17. Time out. All right, here we go. Time back in. 17, toss-up. This movie was the most expensive black and white film ever produced for its time, and though it wasn't an immediate box office success, it has become well-respected since. Give the title of this screenplay by Arthur Miller, written for his then wife, Marilyn Monroe.
Pikeville Max.
Hesitation.
Dunmore Eileen.
Incorrect. The Misfits. 18, toss-up. This principle is also known as the law of hydrostatics, with the scientist who proposed it.
Pikeville Sheikah.
Bernoulli's principle?
Incorrect. I'll repeat. This principle is also known as the law of hydrostatics, with the scientist who proposed it supposedly shouting eureka when it occurred to him. Name this principle that describes how objects displace fluid and either float or sink due to density.
Dunmore Pink.
Correct. 19, bonus. To talk about this sport, you might use terms such as safety, offsides, false start, and fair catch. What is this American tradition related to rugby in which players advance the ball to score touchdowns and kick field goals? Correct. 20, toss-up. What is the quotient when you divide the reciprocal of 1 over x by the quantity x plus 1?
Pikeville Sheikah.
X over the quantity, X plus 1.
Correct. 21, bonus. This ancient civilization used qipu, a system of knots and cords, to communicate mostly numerical information, and was suppressed after the Spanish conquest. Name this civilization, also known for the construction of Machu Picchu.
Inca.
Correct. 22, toss-up. This quantity can be viewed as the sum of kinetic and potential energies of the molecules in a system.
Dunmore Pink. Enthalpy.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. This quantity can be viewed as the sum of kinetic and potential energies of the molecules in a system. What two-word name is given to the sum of all microscopic forms of energy of a system?
Pikeville Sheikah.
Free energy?
Incorrect. Total internal. 23, toss-up. This short story achieved the most success out of all of the ones collected in Welcome to the Monkey House. Give the title of this Kurt Vonnegut anti-authoritarian story that tells of a highly gifted young man who is forced to take on certain handicaps in order to promote egalitarian.
Pikeville Max.
Harrison Bergeron.
Correct. 24, bonus. Name the empire of people who occupied Tenochtitlan before they were conquered around 1521 due to the manipulations of Hernan Cortez.
Aztec.
Correct. 25, toss-up. Some set theories include an axiom for the existence of a set of this type, while in others its existence can be deduced. What do we call a set with no elements?
Pikeville Max.
Null set.
Correct. 26, bonus. This ballet company established the Russians as premier dancers in the West and was founded by Sergei Diaghilev in 1909. Give the name of this famous troupe of ballet dancers that included Nijinsky, Fokine, and Pavlova.
Ballet Russe.
Correct. 27, toss-up. This phrase, first used by the Boston Columbian Sentinel, referred to the national mood that Americans had just after the War of 1812. Identify.
Pikeville Thomas.
Era of good feelings.
Correct. 28, bonus. This Pulitzer Prize-winning novel is based upon anti-Semitism in Tsarist Russia and the internationally controversial trial of Menahem Mendel Bellis. Give the title of this novel by Bernard Malamud.
I designate Jack.
Fixer.
Correct. 29, toss-up. This wave property is symbolized by a capital T and can be calculated by dividing the number 1 by the wave's...
Dunbar Pink. Period.
Correct. 30, bonus. What is the frequency of the graph y equals 3 cosine of quantity 4 pi x minus 11 closed quantity? Correct. 31, toss-up. After this event, the so-called border ruffians crossed into their neighboring state in order to make it a slave state. Identify this sanguine...
Pikeville Thomas.
Lawrence Massacre.
Incorrect, I'll repeat. Identify this sanguine pre-Civil War event that took place in a Midwest state.
Dunbar, Brian.
I can't... Incorrect. Bleeding, Kansas. 32, toss-up. The terminal side of the standard angle of 4 radians lies in which quadrant?
Pikeville, Chica.
Incorrect.
Dunbar, Brian.
Correct. 33, bonus. This term is defined as the ratio of the degree to which an object opposes an electric current. Identify the electrical term often measured in ohms.
Resistance.
Correct. 34, toss-up. Though he did not register for the draft when the United States entered World War I, this man traveled all over Europe and became closely associated with other intellectuals of the lost generation. Identify this composer and lyricist, whose most famous works include I've Got You Under My Skin,
Pikeville, Max. Cole Porter.
correct, 35, bonus. Topics for some of his best-known works include A Leonard Bernstein Party, Ken Kesey's Merry Pranksters, and America's First Astronauts. Identify this new journalist and author of Radical Chic and Mau Mauing, The Flak Catchers, The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, and The Right Stuff.
Wolf.
Correct. 36, toss-up. He was the author of the Open Door Note to China as well as 2...
Pikeville Thomas.
Stimson.
Incorrect, I'll repeat. He was the author of the Open Door Note to China as well as 2 treaties that helped garner U.S. possession of a canal territory.
Dunbar, Eileen.
Repeat your answer. Repeat your answer. Correct. 37, bonus. This German-born physicist invented an interferometer to detect the velocity of light in 2 directions at right
Reset.
angles.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Keep reading.
This German-born physicist invented an interferometer to detect the velocity of light in 2 directions at right angles. Who is most famous for teaming with Edward?
Say it again?
Correct. 38, toss-up.
Substitution time.
Substitution time. Go.
Here we go. 38, toss-up. This type of comedy, whose name comes from the Latin for stuffed, is usually outlandish and may involve sexual innuendo and use of...
Pikeville, Jack.
Satyr.
Incorrect, I'll repeat. This type of comedy, whose name comes from the Latin for stuffed, is usually outlandish and may involve sexual innuendo and use of physical humor. What is this 5-letter term beginning with F?
Dunbar, Pavitra.
Correct. 39, bonus. Use of this type of diction can best be seen in the poetry of Nicholas Guillen, Paul Laurence Dunbar, and Joel Chandler Harris. Identify this type of diction that mimics the informal speech of a certain region. Incorrect. Captain. Incorrect. Dialect. 40, toss-up. What is the magnitude of a unit vector?
Dunbar, Brian.
Correct. 41, bonus. After this turning point of World War II, the Allies launched Operation Torch, which was an invasion of North Africa. Identify this battle in which the British defeated the Germans of Erwin Rommel. Correct. 42, toss-up. Identify the type of verbal used in the following sentence. Her dream was to buy a houseboat.
Dunbar, Eileen.
Correct. 43, bonus. The Dalai Lama is associated with the Tibetan form of this world religion. I'm sorry. Correct. 44, toss-up. The value of 2 times the cosine of 2 degrees times the sine of 2 degrees is equal to the sine of what?
Pikeville, Chica.
4 degrees.
Correct. 45, bonus. This region of the sun extends several million kilometers from the top of the sun's chromosphere. What layer of the sun's atmosphere can clearly be seen during a total solar eclipse?
Corona.
Correct. 46, toss-up. Although it's not specifically mentioned in the Quran, many women still wear it, although some countries...
Dunbar, Pavitra.
Correct. 47, bonus. The name for this alcoholic drink also names a village in Cuba. Identify this type of drink that normally comes in strawberry and virgin varieties. Correct. 48, toss-up. This rhythmic folk dance can be found in different forms in the British Isles, Appalachia, and other parts of the United States and Europe. What form of dance is closely related to tap dance?
Dunbar, Eileen.
Correct. 49, bonus. This type of volcano is found along rift valleys and ocean ridges of constructed plate margins, as is Mauna Loa in Hawaii. Name the type of volcano in which magma flows from the mantle over the crater rim without exploding. Correct. 50, toss-up. What is the limit of the rational function quantity 2 minus 2x squared closed quantity divided by quantity x minus 1 closed quantity?
Dunbar, Brian.
Hesitation, I'll repeat. What is the limit of the rational function quantity 2 minus 2x squared closed quantity divided by quantity x minus 1 closed quantity as x approaches 1?
Pikeville.
Negative 4.
It was absolutely, it wouldn't have been. Don't go anywhere, folks. I'm sure it's not over yet. Don't you have